Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, DMV with sixth graders. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
I want to apologize to you and our listeners because last episode we ended on an amazing update of sorts about an orangutan medicating himself. And I didn't do a haiku.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring that up, but you did shortchange us a little bit there. Like, look, I know it was a hectic week, so I didn't we only had to reschedule our recording like 7 times. So it's
it's fine. It's fine. So I am going to start this episode with a haiku, and then we're going to end
the bookend
haiku as well.
I like it.
So anyway, here we have green blades, morning dew, swings echo on public greens, par for all to chase. So that's a callback to the not last episode, but the previous episode, because I gotta keep the theme coming up there about golf courses. Anyway, who knows what we'll end with? Who knows?
That was pretty good. I like it.
So, how have the storms been? Have you been evading them? Hopefully,
yeah, just a little bit of teensy rain here and there. Nothing too cataclysmic, which is good news. We need to be done with that, please.
We have
not have that there.
I have a farmer friend who has been farming for coming up on. He's been involved with it for almost 20 years now. This is the latest in the season that they have been without having any crops in the ground. They have because up north, we've had so much consistent rain, they can't get out in the fields to plant. And because it's been like every week, it's just been a torrential downpouring of like 2 inches here, 3 inches there, 5 inches, like everything's flooding and like just soggy. And so he has 2,000 acres, 1,200 of that is corn and 800 is soybean, and is all sitting unplanted right now.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, he has until like next week to plant.
Otherwise it'll be too late at all.
Well, otherwise they can't file an insurance claim, and then they can't get any income for the year at all. So yes. So kind of like next week, whether it's ready or not, they just have to just have to do this. Just have to do this.
Wow.
So yes.
That's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, this is the latest ever. And he was like, yeah, it's the latest ever. So it's like,
yikes.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, hopefully that happens. But we got so much rain yesterday. It was just raining on and off all day long. I was out on a dog walk. I was on an hour-long dog walk, and I arrived just as it finished raining, and I checked the radar, and I was like, oh, we've got plenty of time. And so I started off on our thing, and what I do is I walk really, really, really far in one direction, and at the halfway point, I turn around and I come back, and And I had 30 minutes into my walk in one direction, and I felt a little drip on my head. I was like, and then I turned, and it was one of those where I looked over, and then my phone, I looked over to the west, and my phone popped up, and it was like, rain starting soon. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I looked, and then you could just see the wall of rain as it made houses disappear one row at a time. And then you could hear it. And I was like, well, we're in this. So here we go.
Not a lot to do now about it, right? Just surprise.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
So
that's crazy.
25-minute walk back. Just pouring rain. I mean, it would stop, it would slack off a little bit, and then just torrentially come back down even harder. And my shoes are full of water. Like, I was totally unprepared for this. I had to finish I could deal with like a wet shirt and pants. And I will say I did have on a rain jacket because as I had arrived, it was kind of finishing up. So I was like, oh, I'll just have this on and then blah, blah. So I did have that. However,
that's good. That's definitely good.
Yeah. But like rain jackets aren't perfect. And the rain jacket just covers my shoulders and my body, not my pants. And so I can deal with wet shorts, but I cannot tolerate are wet shoes. I cannot abide this. And
you were actually wearing shoes. This is the real part. Well, this is the real shocker here.
So because I've been having to walk so much, I've been having to wear real shoes recently because for various reasons I've been shackled, into the world of normies. So my shoes were inverted boats and just so much water in them. And so I had to finish out the rest of my visits wearing flip-flops, which is totally not professional, but also...
but also it's bucketing down rain. So
bucketing rain, so much water in my shoes that I was like, this is gross. So, I got to... So that was fun. That was a good way to freshen up myself yesterday afternoon.
They did that Monday morning here, right? Like Monday, because Monday I had to go. We're changing we're changing like insurance provider something, right? And so I had to go to this meeting with a dude to like talk about whatever these words are. Right. Yeah. And these are all, of course, words that I don't understand.
Sure.
And so luckily, the saving grace was they let Susan and I do it together. Since, we might as well be there anyway. And so she handled most of this because I was really unfamiliar with many of the things that he was talking about. Like I was like, I don't know what these words mean, but that's what I do know that like when I left, I was like, I'm gonna go back out this way and drop something off here, and then it just like bucketed down outside. It's like, just kidding. I'm gonna not go out to the dumpster right now. I'm gonna go later. Luckily, that was the day we were talking about flooding and water stuff, so that really worked out good. That was good.
Look over here.
Hey, check that out.
And Exhibit A, if everyone will look out the window.
If you would look to your right, you will notice.
Yes, look, all that water. Indeed. But I think it's supposed to be drying out now, so that will be nice. But it's been a really like cool and wet spring.
Yeah,
it really has.
Yes, it's that El Nino will do that to you. Right? And they'll get
throw stuff off.
It does indeed.
Okay, so breaking news.
Oh, okay.
Breaking news. I have tabs on my that I kind of never close. And one of those is mostatefair.com.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
And
yes.
And I just clicked on that, and they have an artist on August 17th finally.
Well, hey.
So
there we go.
Let's work our way up to this. Okay, so August 8th is the Foreigner Farewell Tour. Okay,
Yes,
so that's
the
happening.
ongoing forever farewell tour.
It never ends.
Yes, that's okay though. People like Foreigner, so it's fine.
Yes, Foreign's fine. August 9th is Warren Ziders with Wyatt Flores.
Right.
Cool them.
Question mark.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Great. August 10th is the Goo Goo Dolls with The Fray.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty cool.
I only remember the one Goo Goo Doll song from that City of Angels movie with Nicolas Cage. That's the only song that I can remember.
Pretty much. And then August 16th is Luda with Dax.
Oh, that's right.
Ludicrous. Okay. And I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of disappointed that this was not on our list. However, I'm not going to lie. The reason I didn't pick these people is because I didn't think they were still alive.
Oh, no. It's always awkward, right?
The rumors of my death greatly exaggerated. August 17th, Alabama is coming to play.
Oh. Go there. Roll on 18-wheeler, right?
With a TBA special guest. Okay, so apparently, so I will still have to continue to look into this.
We're not done yet. The saga continues.
And they are. They're so, man. So anyway.
Here we go. The only too awkward because the only time I think I ever actually listened to Alabama on purpose was when memes would play the Christmas album. Right?
Yes.
Alabama Christmas thing, right? Is that real? Does that actually exist? I didn't like
Christmas. No, I absolutely, yeah, it's red. Yes, the
big red
album
cover with the gold letters. Yeah, there it is. Christmas in Dixie. This is the only actual Alabama album I know for a fact I've listened to. Now that would be real awkward to play probably at a summer county festival.
I'm sure stranger things have happened. So
I mean, that's true. Probably at a fair, if we're honest. But the guy. Oh, of course. Okay. Yes. I had to double check some things here. I had to Google other Alabama songs, and I just received a text from the other room.
Oh,
I'm going to just read this to you. I need you to stop your disparaging talk about Alabama. Angry face emoji. This is what I
do. Okay. Sorry.
It's not disparaging. I just don't remember Alabama song. That's all that's happening. Dear, please don't harm me physically. Just kidding. Yes, I don't remember them because the Alabama is a band that I am exposed to only from the radio.
Yeah.
Right. My exploration into the music of Alabama has never really progressed further than that. And so and so I couldn't remember because I know some of the songs, but I don't know the names.
I know a whole lot less of these than I thought. So far, I have Dixieland Delight.
Yeah.
I have Born
Song
Country.
Of the South, obviously. Classic.
Yeah, and then if you're going to play in Texas.
Oh, yeah. You do have to have a fiddle in the band.
That's what I learned.
Because that lead guitar is hot, but not for Louisiana Man.
Absolutely.
Right.
They are very discerning and very particular.
Yeah. And of course, you have to roll on 18-wheeler, roll on, as the follow-up text that I received states.
Okay, fair. Okay, so we do know some of these. However, their discography is quite extensive.
Yeah, it is. I know. Yeah, that it's quite big. But I just don't know. Oh, what song is that? She keeps texting me Alabama lyrics now, and this is rather hilarious.
Oh, no. Sorry. But yeah, okay.
It's just really funny. I know that song too. But yeah, it's just one of those it's the radio exposure, right? And so the big songs that I know the big songs that were on the radio, and also the Christmas album.
It's a very interesting,
kind of weird, right?
Slice of the music of them.
Yeah, 6 6 to 7 actual songs and the Christmas album. This is
I mean,
so the Alabama greatest hits. I may have those somewhere in my brain. Somewhere.
yes, and and it's one of those of yeah. I mean, they went through a string of several number ones in the early '80s. So there's so many. Just scrolling.
There are a lot. You scroll and scroll and scroll.
Scroll. So anyway, that's going to be fun.
True.
To go hear that. So what we will do is we will do what we always do during the season, because they crank the music so loud we can hear it from our house.
Yeah.
And we'll just sit on our front porch.
Yeah. And enjoy the Dixieland delight, right?
Yeah, now I'm really like, what? Now that we have the complete set, although we don't know who their special guest is, it's just I am thinking, what's going to be the song list for these? What's that look like? For each
Probably
one
not
of
the
these
Christmas
bands?
album. Never know. But hey, it'd be fine. That's also true. The set list is a bit weird. I don't know what. I mean, you just basically at the fair, you just got to play like the hit songs, right? Maybe a couple B-side favorites, but you're not digging out like super deep, obscure cuts for the fair, right? Like this is from our first ever demo, right? You're not pulling those out.
Right. And you're not bringing out your brand new song that year, right? Or like you're not, that's not what you're doing. You're just, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, maybe. So, yeah. Okay. So I think there's two different approaches because, no offense, other guys that all the people on this list who I don't actually know who they are, they will probably be doing newer stuff, right? So I'm assuming they have at least some sort of following. So they may be playing maybe a couple songs that people know, and then they will probably dig in and like be working on newer stuff, right? Because they use it as like the test, right? But like Alabama's not doing that, right? Luda's just gonna play the big stuff, probably. Probably. Forder's definitely not ripping up any new material.
No,
and our brand new song. Wait, hold on.
I think I'd be very confused if that actually happened. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna be. I think it's got to be all the big. I've only ever been to one. I think. Let me double check my memory banks here, but I'm pretty sure I've only ever been to one fair concert, and that's kind of how it went, right? Just kind of the big name songs, and then that's it, right? So, yeah, I think that's how it goes. But again, I have a very limited data set. Some say inconsequential data set of one.
Being one. Rather hard to really bring in a strong case here, right?
That is true. That is true. But I did only see, there's only one name that could draw me to the Ozark Empire Fair to sit in the grandstands for a concert. And that man was Charlie Daniels. Oh, yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That was it. That was it. That was the only one. Like, I think all my friends were like, hey, I think the tickets were not expensive at all. And we're just like, yeah, sure, why not?
What's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah, it was fine. We sat up in the grandstands, listened to some Charlie Daniels band. It was good. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds really good. So that was my one fair grandstand experience.
Fantastic.
It's a bit odd. It's a bit of a one out of left field, right? As a
very,
but, How can you not go see Devil Went Down to Georgia live?
I mean,
Right.
that's a pretty. That I feel like that's a good crowd song. Like we
That's
were
it
talking, like
is
this
the
was part
crowd
of
song.
our discussion when we were putting together our original predictions of who they were going to pick. Of like, but no, like you. That's a great song just to have a whole crowd belting out at the top of their
Yeah. And
lungs.
obviously that was the closer,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Because he did that. I mean, that's the one you save for the end. Because he has a couple other songs that I knew, but as not like a huge Charlie Daniels fan, like I knew some of them, but like that's the one that like everybody in the whole world knows that one, you know. And so that's the one you close with. You go close with the big gun, right? Just the big heavy hitter. So it'll be interesting to see what Alabama picks for their close.
I
Right.
know.
Right. I'll get predictions from the Alabama expert, the resident Alabama expert here, maybe. But
Oh, that's what we need. We need to see Susan's list of what she wants to see played there.
true. There we go. And then we can see how it goes. But
I think this is great.
huh. It's great. I'm glad that we finally have at least almost closure.
Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating.
This saga that has been continuing for a very long time.
They're just really stretching this out here.
But they do firmly fall in basically the category that we laid out, right? Yeah. Again, I just forgot about Alabama. Don't tell Susan.
Yeah,
but
no, I distinctly remember. Look, I mean, I did okay. I weirdly did quite a bit of research on each one of these, and I did not think like I remember looking at Alabama, and I didn't even give it a second thought because I was like, oh well, they're not. I mean, anyway, next. So I feel terrible. I feel really bad.
Sorry, Alabama. Didn't mean. Oh yeah. Who's there? I can't. Oh, Brandy. There you go. I can't remember the name. As a guy.
Oh.
There you go.
This also has me. I just clicked on their on their page for the their listing. There's a button that said listen, and it took me over to their YouTube channel. And for some reason now I am looking at random channels to which I had subscribed at one point in time. And man, it's amazing to see how, like, A, when did I subscribe to these channels? But B,
oh yeah, that's about
how many of them are just not doing anything.
That is true.
Anymore.
You do have to remember to go back through there and kind of dump out some things, right?
Yeah.
That's a tab that I often forget about over there. Because you're just like, oh, I look at the whatever, and then yeah, gotta purge every once in a while. Because people, they stop and whatnot. So.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I at some point subscribe because this is who I am. I found the the Indian food review channel that plays in one of our favorite Indian restaurants.
That's a little
subscribe to her.
It's a little intense, channel. But whatever. It's okay. It's fine.
Oh, I'm really okay. Yeah, sorry. This is a big very confused by some of these. Some of these have changed.
They changed the name, yeah.
They changed the name, or I'm scrolling, I'm going, one of these things that I saw was there's no way I subscribe to this channel. And then I look and I just did a quick scroll down where I flicked and went flick. And I'm like, I go, oh, that's because like a year ago they changed the purpose of the channel and they like pivoted to something else.
Yeah.
Right, where they were like, oh, originally we're going to do minimalism, and now they're like, we do book and product reviews or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm very, because I don't use YouTube very often. Like I use it as when I'm doing like a research thing of I'm looking for information or I'm trying to find a really obscure, let's be honest, like late 90s, early 2000s reference. And I need
obviously
to get a clip of that. Or if I want to look at the review of a new Grenadier and see, is it really worth $70,000 and what it compares to a Land Cruiser, then I will look at that one. Obviously, when I'm doing deep, very important research in my busy days, but I don't yeah, it's crazy.
I'm the exact opposite. I use it all the time. I use it a lot for, like, I don't know, just like random other entertainment value, right? That's what I watch. A lot of people that do that kind of stuff. Like I have mostly, it's like I watch a lot of like video game stuff on there. Some cooking things, right? I watch some of that stuff. That's pretty much it. Recently, I have been watching way too much of those like flat Earth debunk things, which is bad for my mental health because those people are ridiculous. And
but also,
it's kind of funny good. To be like, what you do, huh? That's pretty much it. There's several channels that I watch. The like, where's a couple of them are like I watch like music review channels, right? Just because I like the dude and it's entertaining, right? It's mostly just Todd in the Shadows. Actually, that's all it is.
Fair.
But like some of the other ones, like the train hopping dude, right? I watch him because that's just entertaining stuff. So whenever he puts stuff on there, I watch it. But those are the big ones. But mostly just entertainment stuff. That's what I just waste time on it. So that's basically what I use it for. But you can also use it to listen to the Oh Brother podcast. Just by the way, just little
man, indeed, it is there.
Nice. Oh, worked that one in seamlessly. Did you like that?
Nice. I blended it right in. Check link in the show notes. So anyway, so that's we've been doing. I did there's this thing called one of a sad thing that happened is we used to go to this thing called 1 Million Cups. Did I ever talk about this thing?
Yes. Okay. Yes, you did.
They pop up in different towns and they're supported by the Kauffman Foundation, whatever. It's a pretty great opportunity to get small business owners talking in front of people in the community. It's really cool and stuff. And we've been trying really hard to get more involved in this and go back to it and like show up so we can ask questions and, just see people, what they're talking about and things and be connected and, what we were supposed to do or whatever. And we attended one back in February. And then they were like, we're going to take a pause in next month, right? We're just going to take a pause for 1 month just to make sure everything's fine.
Uh-oh.
And then at the end of that month, they were like, effective immediately, we're never holding these again. I was like, oh no. Like we were trying so hard to go. Was it us? Was it
they were tired of all your emails. They were like, stop it. We're not want.
Right. Was it we the problem? And so now I'm just like, oh, I would encourage people, like when we would find a person who was like just starting out in their business or like just wanting to do something cool, or they were trying to do a fundraiser, or they were trying to whatever. It was like, oh, go talk to these people. They're always looking for people to come speak. They're so desperate. They had us come back twice. Like I'm telling you, like just go. And now I can't say that anymore. And I feel really bad for the people who I sent over there like really heavily through January and February. So I was pretty disappointed by that. And it's just one of those things of, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel like those restaurants that you see in town, and or those businesses or that person, and you're like, oh yeah, I need to go see there. I need to go try their food, or I need to go do whatever. And then
They're gone.
they go out of business, and you're like, oh man, like that. Why? Well, I never got to try their food. Like, well, maybe if we would have tried it a little bit earlier, they wouldn't have gone out of. I don't know. Like, I hate to major interruption right now to the podcast. I am so sorry.
It's all right.
I'm at Dad's, and on his back deck, just because I'm in the living room, just popped up and stared straight into the back room. No, not a turkey or a deer, but a cat.
Oh
my gosh.
That is unexpected.
Very, very unexpected. And just as I pulled up my photo to take a picture, it dashed away. So anyway, there is a cat on premises, apparently.
Wow. Shocking.
That's wild.
Lurking
as they do, as they're wont to do from afar.
Indeed.
So anyway, I just was thinking about the 1 million cups thing. I was like, oh, like that's sad, because that's another opportunity now that's gone. And I've tried to reach out to the organizers and stuff, but they haven't been returning my emails. So I think it's just like really, really dead.
Yeah, it kind of sounds that way. That's unfortunate, I guess. But if, well, it's unfortunate if only you were getting things out of it. That's the
well,
right.
Yeah, and that's the thing of, apparently, like I was talking with some people who had been there for as long as it had been out of they originally had started out, and it was widely attended, right? There was lots of things going on. It was full. Most of these presentations were where most of them would have, you're supposed to have one presentation, and it's supposed to keep the whole meeting really, really short. But you're supposed to do it every single week, which is what most of the 1 million cups do. Like, if you look at other organizations in different cities, they do one presentation, one company presents, and you're really only there for like an hour or for like 45 minutes max, from start to finish, because your talk is actually only like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
The rest is like networking before, then there's the thing, and then there's questions afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, they started out doing that, and then they condensed it to where they were doing it every other week. And then they condensed it to they were doing it once a month for like an hour and a half, and they did 2 presentations that day. And so 8 years ago, when they started this thing, that's what they were doing. Every week they had a new business, and I'm now on their YouTube channel. I'm scrolling through, and I'm looking at all these people who are talking. I'm like, oh, I know them. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. What? This is crazy. And so, but then they just ran out of steam, and people stopped attending. And then what can you do, right? You can't keep presenting or doing something for no one. So
yeah,
it's sad.
Yeah, that's true. But it's hard if you're not growing the different people that are coming, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's just the same people all the time, you're gonna be like, well, I don't really need to go because I've already heard this, right? Like that starts happening, and so it's like kind of weird. Like, what am I getting anything out of it? Because like it's all just the same thing over and over again, and then people won't come, and they'll start petering out, and then this is the whole thing. So like it makes sense, but like the reason why that it happened is kind of bad, right? Because it means there's not like growth in that area,
Yeah, because I'm also scrolling through these businesses, and that number of like, okay, I'm just the very first video was posted 8 years ago, and I'm just scrolling up. Even businesses that were presenting 6 years ago, most of these are not in this. Is most of them are not around anymore. Like, so that's the other aspect of this too. Of it is hard because if you are focused on doing presentations for small businesses, it means that small business has to be able, right, to get out and be there, and that's really hard to get them because they're busy working, right? Like, so then,
Yeah.
and then people are like, oh, well, I don't want to, or blah, 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 and other things. So I get it. I understand, but it's also hard. It's also frustrating because, what, anyway. So, oh, there's an annoying video of somebody on it. Ugh. Anyway, that's that one. So, how long was that? I talked for that's 22 minutes.
That's not 10 minutes, just in case you're curious.
I know. Anyway, so that's sad. Wah, wah.
Yes. Oh, well.
Yeah. So Megan said, well, if you really, really miss it that much, why don't you do something, like it? And I was like, that's not the answer I wanted.
Yeah. I don't miss it that much. I just want
to look. I just don't have. I have no time. What are you talking about?
True.
No,
maybe too. Maybe they say they didn't have time either.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all right. Well, we were trying to wind down the school year. I don't think I'm going to survive the rest of this week.
No.
Yeah, it's not been good. It's not gone well. It's all gone wrong. Everything's gone wrong.
Oh no.
So I'm just ready. I don't think I can make it. It's going to be real rough.
What's going on?
Well, Monday was fine because we did like normal things, right? Yesterday we had our big field trip, right? Big long day field trip, and it was just kind of not great.
Oh,
right. We had so we go ice skating, right? The big ice skating extravaganza. Yeah. Except for we had people dying left, right, and center, right? Like I have no idea why, but they broke bad. And so we had
oh no.
All kinds of weird accidents. Somebody ate it really hard, busted their face open. It's a weird. This is a thing never happens ever, and it was just a very stressful time of dealing with injured people, right? And the whole thing was just a not great experience on my end of the thing, right? I hope the kids had fun, but from my perspective, it was just a whole long day of zero fun.
Well, yeah, because that all of a sudden, that's, I mean, so it's obviously you don't want kids to get hurt or anything like that. That's never good. And so you've got the fallout from that, but then also there's paperwork, and then there's it never quite ends after after that, So
Ugh. So that was a whole deal. And then today that was a whole big long day, right? Yesterday. And now today we had field day.
Oh, and why was that so fun? Huh?
Well, number one, because it's field day. And it's just the longest day ever. It's just outside in field all the time,
as the name suggests. So
right, and
check.
I understand there's a lot of constraints happening, right, at this time. We've been doing it in the city park of where I live instead of where the school is. Number one, it's bigger. There's more room that we can have at the school. There's actually shade, which is nice because they used to just have it on the baseball field, and that sucks because my delicate skin does not deal with that. But it's also nice because if we get done we can just go inside, right?
Sure.
You can just leave. You can just be like,
Yeah.
okay, we can go inside. Like if you can get finished with your thing, you can just go inside.
Uh-huh.
Right. At the park, far away from the school, like we have a lot of other problems, right? Because of when it is this year, they couldn't have any like there's basically so the elementary PE coach puts it all on, right? And this year there was no other people helping him, right? For various reasons. It was just him, right? So like
Uh,
the moving parts of field day were not great. And again, this is not really his fault because he's very handcuffed in this, right? So
okay.
I'm not like blaming him for this. This is not what this is.
Sure.
This was sort of a structural failure all around
Oh.
to where everything is like, did it really work right? And there's a lot of confusion about like when we rotate, right? And then the thing that makes me the angriest is there's some people that are just like, oh no, we're just going to stay at this station. Like, what? No. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was our turn to be. There's like a place where it has like a park that has like swings and like the jungle gym and stuff like that. And that's one of the rotations, right? So when it was our turn to be there,
Uh,
like other grade levels were just like, nah, we're going to be here.
uh-huh.
It's not, no, that's not. Why would you do that? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Especially, why would you see, like, you have very tiny children, right? And these are sixth graders.
Mm.
And you're just going to be like, yeah, we're just going to play here. Like, well, are you insane? Like,
That,
what are you doing? I
yeah.
don't know why they do this, but this happened last year too. Not quite as bad, but they're just like, they go off the schedule, right? The schedule is shaky enough as it is, right? And then these people decide to go all cavalier and they go off schedule. So it's like throws everything.
Uh-huh.
Uh, uh, we don't really require a lot of structure in my life, but if you tell me to follow a thing, and then
Oh,
like it feels like sometimes I know this is not accurate, but from my perception, right? I want to make that clear as well. This is how I feel, not necessarily the reality of the situation, right? I am
sure.
aware of this fact. I just want everyone to know this. It feels like I'm the only one attempting to follow the thing, and everyone else is just doing whatever. And it's like, well, what's the even the point of this?
Uh-huh.
Like, why are we existing in this space when we're supposed to be doing like there's not very many directions. It's like 5 directions, less maybe. And we can't follow them.
Isn't that
Why?
it's
This
one
is
of those
not an
things.
argue. This is something I have to yell at my own children for. Why are you also doing it, fellow teacher? What is the matter with you?
Yeah, it makes it seem like you're the crazy person, doesn't it?
I
Where it's like
know.
you are the one who's ruining everything and you're the one who's just making it all miserable for everybody. And it's like, no, this is not what was agreed upon. Like, what is going on here right now?
Yeah. Yes. It's true. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But whatever. We made it through. But like the worst part was like at the end, like again, the rotations got messed up. So at
Mm.
the end, there was just this very long amount of time where we didn't have anything to do. And this is not a
Oh,
situation that you can put a sixth grader in and it will not end
no,
successfully.
no,
Right.
no, this is very bad.
So we just had forever. And so the way that we have currently dealing with like the transportation thing got all screwed up. And so basically what had happened is they took like they staggered us arriving there, right? But like they didn't take into to see it feels like they didn't take into account this that they had to also do that for us to leave. So like everyone is done and we're just there. And it feels like we waited way too long. And then they're like, okay, we'll start leaving now. Well, the amount of buses and drivers that we had was insufficient to cover the entire student body that was still there. So they had to take all the younger grades back and then turn around and come back and get us. So we had to wait there an extra 30 minutes
What?
or more just waiting. Right? Like,
What? No. That's not
like, and so we're just sitting around waiting, and all the kids are done, right? They are all done. And it was like the
how long had
world's
you been
worst
out
road trip because they'd be
at
like,
that
what
time?
time is it? What time is it? What time are we leaving? And I just had to look at it and be like, I have no idea.
Oh no.
You can ask me all you want, but I have no clue when we're leaving. They're like, what time are we going home?
Oh
I don't know.
no. Oh
I don't know.
no.
We're just here. We're just here in this field forever. That's just how it's going to be now. We live here.
Start building a fire.
Yeah, let's build a hut. All right, we got to get Survivor on this thing because we just live here now.
Oh no,
That's
that's
all
terrible.
it is.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's horrible. It was terrible. It was just like the worst sitting around forever waiting for nothing to happen. Right? It's like imagine the DMV, but with sixth graders, right? That's what it was like.
I'd rather not. But anyway,
right.
Thanks.
It was just, it was so miserable. Like, the kids were pretty miserable. Us teachers were definitely miserable. Like, everyone was like, can we go now? Please. Yeah. There's nothing to do. We just have to sit. And so, of course, because they're trying to entertain themselves and be ridiculous, and like we had all these kids playing on the playground, somebody broke their dang arm because they were like,
no, what?
Yeah, right after the nurse left.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's just carnage everywhere. Right. And this is just like, this is sheerly because they were trying to entertain themselves. And they also can't, they have no chill, right? Zero. So they just like go all the time. And then they're just trying to do whatever. And then we just get like way too hype. And then we just have an accident because we're waiting. Right. If we had been gone, right? If the transportation system would have been functional and we would be back at school at the time when they said we were supposed to be back, none of this would have happened. Right?
Yeah.
It's the most annoying part. Like, come on.
No, that's a complete failure in all things there. Like, that's really bad. Like, that's wow.
So we had these 2 insane days this week, and then I got 2 more days left. And for some reason, they said that we don't need half days anymore. So Friday, for some unholy reason, is not a half day. Why?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
No, full day of school, baby. We're going to be there all day.
What?
For some reason that I can't fathom.
Who did they tick off?
I don't know. That is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to make it through that. So there's all kinds of weird stuff happening there. I got this email, and all it said is, it just says, it's like vaguely references the fact that there's going to be some sort of obstacle race, but the teachers are doing it. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because you didn't schedule a half day, I now have to do some like crazy shenanigan to entertain the students. No, well, yeah. I can do that in my classrooms. Thank you very much.
I mean,
I don't.
What else are you going to be doing? Right? Like, I mean,
I don't need to be doing whatever terrible thing that is.
No, that's bad.
Like, no. So, I just want to not do that.
That's insane.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
Ugh. I'm so grumpy about like the whole situation that
and so when's your last
It's Friday.
This Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's not good. That's terrible.
It is quite horrid. And so I don't I don't know. Ugh. We'll see. Whatever. I'm just gonna be glad it's over, I guess, because they just can't leave me alone, and I can do things to make this day go by relatively quietly, and just play it out and be fine. But no, we have to have spectacle.
Yes, dance for me one more time.
Yeah,
and
that's what it feels like.
You shall entertain.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just mentally planning what am I going to watch on Amazon next week. I gotta do some Amazon Prime catching up on. That's really what I'm focusing on now. Just gonna put all this badness out of here. Got to figure out what on world. I'm very behind on things I said I was going to watch. I haven't had any time to. So maybe now that I will be done with school for a little while, I can actually do that. I probably won't because I always say like, "Oh, I'm going to do that," and then like I just watch something else anyway.
Oh, yeah, like why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Finally get around to watching James May, Our Man in India, or just watch some random Law and Order marathon on television. What's it gonna be?
That's a really tough one. Real tough one.
That's how it happens sometimes, you know. Like I gotta. I do want to watch the new Clarksons Farm though, because I hear it's quite interesting, right? And so I have to watch that at some point.
Yeah, I haven't heard any.
I heard it's very. I won't. So no spoilerinos, but like I heard there is much controversy.
Well,
right?
Okay, so I did hear one thing was that it made a lot of people angry at the local council. So that's all I know is that it caused quite an uproar about that. So I'm assuming I could only assume what Clarkson has done or would do to get him in trouble with the authorities and people who make the rules.
Yes, like it sounds like it's all like the bureaucratic nonsense is just like unhinged, which it already is in that show anyway. It's like this weird. It's like this weird peek into just like how not useful certain things are. Like, like why is that even a problem? Like, what the heck?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I heard that part's like real bad. So, but also I hear that a lot of farming people are really happy that people are getting to see just how nonsensical and ridiculous it is.
I mean, that was one of my takeaways from his season 1 of the what was it, the last episode where he sat down and kind of tallied up what his year was like.
Yeah.
You know, and granted, again, some of this you always have to remember to think about what's the point that he is trying to drive home here, Clarkson, because he doesn't just come in and he acts the bumbling buffoon, but it's all calculated, right? And he's got his storyline that he's going to make fit. And so, sure, did he need to waste the money like making the pond? No, but the reason he did that was so that they could get into the talking about the endangered species and the wetland delineation and like the inspections that were required for that. Like he made it a contrived of like, yeah, I want to fish and I'll do that to make this fishing thing. But like farmers build ponds all of the time, right? Like that's just something that they do. So he contrived the scenario to get to the point to talk about the regulation and the surveys that need to be done and all the paperwork. And at the end, when he's breaking down what he had to spend, the man hours required to do that, the equipment, everything, and then the take home, like, right, that's so eye opening for people who probably never even think about that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, like it's a mess, and so it'll be. I do want to watch that and see just sort of how bad it is, right? Like, so that's on the list for sure.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah. I can't remember what else is on my list. Oh, I also want to. I also have not decided. Do I want to attempt to watch the second season of The Wheel of Time? I don't.
Oh, God bless you. No,
I don't know if I can.
Can't.
I don't know if I can do it.
I can't.
Because I really struggled finishing the first season. Like, it was real bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I even want to try. That's what I want. I don't know if I want to give it like one episode or not. So I'm on the fence about that one. That's where I'm really at, because like I'm not really excited. Like I'm only mildly curious, and I don't know if I'm curious enough to subjugate myself to that much commitment of watching things, because it was just so bad. The end of this first season was just like so boring that I don't know if I want to do it. Right. I'm sorry, Rosamund Pike. No offense, but like, man.
But also, it's terrible. That first season was really bad.
It was just not great. Right. I don't know. And it wasn't even bad in like a fun way. Right. Not like, it wasn't bad in like a Warriors of Virtue bad. Right. Where it's like, it's bad, but it's also hilariously campy to look at. Right. So it's like,
yeah,
it's like, no, it is bad, but like, you're still going to watch it because there's still some enjoyment to be had. Right. And so I don't know. I don't know why. I know we've talked about this relatively frequently, but like, I don't know why the fantasy genre has so much trouble doing this kind of thing. Right. Like, they just struggle so hard with like the genre outside of book form, even though the book form sometimes is also really bad. Like, there's just something about the fantasy genre that like it's apparently just so hard to do good. Right. Like, in all of the subcategories, like high fantasy, like dark fantasy, whatever, like, it's just, there's something about it, and I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's the world building. Maybe everybody got a case of like, we got to try really hard, because like the pillars that like really hold it up are like really good. You know what I mean? But then there's just like so much junk in there.
Right. Well, right. And I think that is honestly, it could be a part of them going, oh, well, I've got to make my own mark on this, or I can't make this like everything, something else. But it's like, no, like just follow the format, please. Just follow the format.
And I don't know, like, there's something about, I don't know. There's also this weird thing where like when you look at the movie, like you can just look at it, or you can just look at the trailer and be like, no. Right? Because like bad fantasy has a look. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about how it looks, how the costuming is just like, weird, right? And so you think you're getting like, I don't know, for every like Princess's Bride, there's a Cull the Conqueror just waiting in the wings to be like, ugh. Oh, what is that? Why? Why would you do that? Like, there's just like, you can look at how it's, I don't know if it's how it's filmed, whatever. It's like the costuming is just like weird, like it's like very like, the look is, it just looks like wrong. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you look at like the I didn't watch this, but like the one of the newest Robin Hood movies that came out, right? I don't remember which one this was. It was not the 2018 Robin Hood, right? So if you just Google 2018 Robin Hood and you look at the costumes, you're just gonna go. Your first response to this is no, right? It
Yeah.
just looks wrong, and I don't really know how to explain it other
Well,
than it just doesn't look correct.
he's wearing one of those puffy coats that you can buy from like a J. Crew magazine. Let's
Yeah,
just start first and foremost. If you look at him, what even is this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, other than like why that's not a costume that belongs in any time period, specifically not one associated so strongly with Robin Hood. But like, you know how it's like it looks so clean
Yeah.
and like weird. Where even if you watch like, I don't know, any other good, like the costuming is like different, right? Like, and it looks good. And I get the vibe, I get the bad costume vibe with the Wheel of Time. It gives me
Yeah.
bad costume
It
vibe, right?
here I'll try and explain this. The movie, okay, go way back here to another terrible movie, Van Helsing. Right?
Yes, that's another one.
Okay. It's the exact same thing. Of it, it's just like they're trying so hard for a look that they forget to try and make it be believable or to draw you into that world. And it ends up completely taking you out. And it's not, it's one of those of like, okay, sure, he's wearing the kind of cool coat and he's got a bow and arrow. Okay. But like also that's weird. Like it looks so new and it looks so like some of these shots, it's like, whereas these look like they were taking off of the Mission Impossible film set. Like these are just not what I expected. And then this one is obviously a stab at the Game of Thrones photo. Like this is it's yeah, everything just looks
Yeah.
there's no world there. Like absolutely. That's the big problem is because everything is so new and so shiny and so unblemished, it's like, oh, well, you literally just unpack this from its from the packing peanuts this morning and put them on somebody. And it shows.
Yeah, it just looks yeah, I don't know how to explain this. I'm gonna have to do a better job of like trying to understand what about this specifically bothers me. But like it's just like it does look just like too clean. Like it's just like that was something that was weird about I think I remarked on it when I watched The Wheel of Time. It was like
Yeah.
everything looks like brand new.
Yeah.
And it's weird, right? Whereas like if you take the pinnacle of high fantasy movies, of course, Lord of the Rings trilogy, like it's like a very lived in environment,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's a very like you know, like realistic depiction of stuff, right? Whereas the other one is not. And so that's part of it, I guess maybe, but like also like sometimes it's just the design where you're like, "Oh, we're going to
Oh,
make like a statement with the design." And then you're just like, "Oh, you didn't think about anything else, did you?" Like
uh-huh.
you had a look in mind and you went only for that and then it's just like so far like from something that would be like actually believable that it's like weird, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. It's very
Right.
strange.
Well, and I think that may be where like modern sensibilities for simple things like how should a jacket fit? And going, well, this is how we tailor cut a jacket to a modern day person, and we'll make it look kind of old timey and we'll throw it in there. And going, yeah, but they didn't do the level of tailoring on a lot of this stuff. And I'm not the kind of stickler for like, oh, the period piece doesn't look like it's from the period. Like, meh.
Yeah.
But you can tell that these things were designed and storyboarded to within an inch of their life, and it just doesn't look believable of that. Yeah, I'm just looking at more of these pictures. So
Yeah, no, I think that's a one good way to think about it, right? It's just there's just something about it that just feels wrong, and I don't know why, but yeah, that's the. It's just so hard to make a fantasy movie that's like interesting and like actually good, right? Because sometimes, a lot of times, it's like you watch them and you go like, that could have been good, right? But just for some reason, we went too far in some other way, or we didn't do something else instead, right? It's just like there's just like the balance is just like really hard, right? And really strange. And I know that a lot of it is like you feel like you have to do a lot of world building because you're like, my fantasy world is like unique, right? And so I have to put in all these things that are unique about it. So you get bogged down a lot with like a whole bunch of exposition, right? Which is, of course, the bane of all fantasy writers.
Oh,
Is
yes.
the exposition is there's way too much, right? But then if you don't do any, you're just like, well, it's just like a normal book, but there's like a goblin, so I mean, there's that. But like, if you can strike the balance, then it turns out really good, right? But like, I don't know, it's just such a weirdly difficult thing to accomplish that it makes me distressed because I am a fan of this genre, right? But like, I really don't engage with it very much at all because it's just very, it's like so hard to distinguish what is going to be good from like the just like kind of mediocre and then like bad, right? Like the kind of mediocre and bad is like very intermingled together. And then like the things that are good, they're so great, right? But then like everything else is kind of like meh, right? Meh.
No, you're really right, and it is they are so hit and miss, and that's what makes it so hard to get into it. Of knowing, going, oh man, I can see all the potential here, but also I can see the big downfall, and that risk reward really doesn't. It tends to not pay off very much.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I agree. And it's just, and it's like all the media, right? It's like all except for video games. Video games are the only ones that do it pretty good a lot of times. There's also trash in there. Don't get me wrong, but like those are good. But you have a longer form to deal with, right?
Yes.
But like a lot of this was like movies. Like I said, not great. There's not a lot of fancy TV shows that I can think of off the top of my head. So maybe they just are too afraid of that one. But like books and comics, it's a minefield, right? It's a minefield.
Absolutely.
But that's where I do get frustrated, just as a general fan. It's like I want to engage, but then also I don't, because I don't want, I don't want to like waste my time.
I don't want to be disappointed again.
Yeah, right. Again. I don't want to be disappointed again. So just read Tolkien again. I guess that's what I'm gonna do.
We're on that. We are reading through The Fellowship as our bedtime story right now.
Yes,
good stuff.
Nice.
Good. We just got to Lothlorien. Spoilers alert, they go to Lothlorien.
Oh, yes. Oh. Yes, indeed. Spoilers alert.
Sorry. Didn't mean to just throw that out there like a great type of. Sorry.
There you go. I think I have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure the War of the Rohirrim animated movie comes out this winter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's true. Okay. Because I think I heard a rumor.
A rumor?
I read a rumor. I rather read
a rumor
that I don't know how widely this is going to be happening, but that they're going to be re-releasing the extended edition Lord of the Rings trilogy into movie theaters this summer to gear up for the War of the Rohirrim movie.
Okay.
And if that's true, I'm going.
I was going to say that may necessitate a group watch.
Yeah, because if that is in fact true, I hope that my local movie theater does partake in this particular thing because that sounds like something
Oh,
that needs to happen.
oh, yeah,
I want.
absolutely, it does.
I will go. I will make that an important thing, right? That will add. That will actually add to the thing because that the I think again, I'm pretty sure that Lord of the Rings: Return of the King is the only movie that I have seen in theaters multiple times. Because I usually,
Really?
yeah, I
That's
usually
quite a
don't.
claim.
Once I watch it, I don't go back again.
Oh,
Right? Like I'll
yeah.
watch a movie and then like, okay, it was good. I don't like rewatch them in the movie
Well,
theater.
well, that's what I I think I was I I can't think of one that I did go and see. Uh so in the movie theater, I think maybe a Harry Potter movie.
Well, okay, yeah, but like, I don't know if I did that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, as of this moment, that I can recall, The Return of the King is the only movie I know for a fact I have seen in the movie theaters
Wild.
multiple times on purpose.
On purpose.
So yeah, yes. So there may be a movie that like I don't think so because usually we used to go to the dollar movies, right?
Yeah.
And like we would just like it would just go see whatever. And I don't think we ever like purposely sought out a movie that we had already seen. That doesn't sound like a thing that we did. So I think, I mean, I could be misremembering because that was a long time ago now, but that it may be the only one that I've seen before. So I may just add the rest of them. If they show up, they'll be back. But I hope this is true, and I hope this comes to a theater near me because I want to do that.
Yes. That would be a lot of fun.
Because I love those movies very much. But also those there are I think we've talked about this before. There are certain things that are like it's like watching them in the movie theater is just like better because the director like very clearly this is where he meant for you to see it or she,
Yeah.
right? This is where they meant for it to be seen, right? And so watching at home is all fine and dandy, but some movies it's like important that you see.
Yes, because that was their that was the canvas that they originally had in mind. Like they didn't have a little
Yeah.
tiny 4-inch phone screen of like, yes, this is what my masterpiece will be viewed upon. Like
Yeah,
they
right.
go
This
they
is
go,
it.
okay, yeah, they think, okay, well maybe, yeah, sure, somebody may view it there, but like this is I think of it as the canonical viewing version.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it. And so yeah, it's just better that way. And sometimes like I think people that like if you did see it in theater, like you have a different perspective on it, right? Like
Yeah.
than when you just watch it at home. You know? I think that it's important. I don't know. I think this is why I don't hate the Hobbit movies quite as much as some other people do because I did go watch them in like the giant IMAX theater where
Oh,
they released
yes.
them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was super rad in IMAX.
They're very, very epic. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So like, you know, that helps. That adds to it, right? When it's like that. So I don't know.
It's hard not to, it's hard not to be blown away by the visual effects and the sound and everything like that. Like it
Yeah.
really makes an impact.
Yeah. Well, and the visual effects are designed to be seen that way. So sometimes
Yes.
when you see them in other places, they look kind of wonky and they don't look quite as wonky in the iMac, right? Because the
Right.
frame rate and all that stuff people talk about, like, it's not quite so bad in the iMac, you know? But then you can only see it there a little bit. And then you do have to watch it at home the rest of the time, right? So you can't just be going to the IMAX all the time.
No, that's hard.
Yeah. Don't have to do the IMAX in the backyard. It's like throw it up there. And that doesn't work out really.
Hmm.
Yep.
Well, so, lots of viewing options this summer. Then let's look.
That's true. Hopefully, that's true. Plus, as soon as we decide on a book, I guess I should do that too.
Yes, that we should. So. We should get on that.
Yeah, since it is now almost summer.
It is.
Probably need to do some reading thing. So we need to make a concerted effort to think about that.
Yes.
But then that's what we'll be doing. So I may or may not have Amazon Prime reviews for you next week.
I look forward to them. This is these cultural touch points.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. See how motivated I am next week to do anything. If the rest of this week continues the way that it started,
I
may not be able to.
Yeah, maybe just breathe a week. Breathe 1 week. It's fine.
Yes, I just need.
It's all good.
I may need some mindless Law and Order marathons just to be like,
right,
just exist only.
Yes, I just absorb. Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if I can survive the rest of this week. That's gonna be the important part. But I have a haiku to leave you with if you have nothing else to add today.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, that is fine. Yes, indeed. You, right. I'm ready for the haiku.
All right. If you have something else you want to talk about.
No.
All right.
You're good.
All right. This haiku I wrote today. Waiting for nothing. Noise growing ever louder. All day in a field. I actually wrote this at field day.
I was going to say, it sounds like while one child was breaking their arm, you were composing.
This was before that. It was before that happened.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't.
Yeah,
this is after like the 50th time somebody asked me what time it was and when we were going home. I was like, I thought about Gandalf's monologue. I strayed out of thought and time. Every day was a life age of man. I was like, that's what was going through my head.
It's never been so relatable.
The kids ask me, how long until we leave? A life age. That's what.
Oh,
I think somebody asked me, and I was just like, what is time anyway? A fleeting collection of moments, unknowable. And they were like, what? I was like, don't worry about it.
Anyway, I'm going to keep walking over here.
My teacher's officially gone crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about Gandalf today while I was standing there.
That's fair. That's a fair thing. It's a good thing to think about anyway.
True.
Okay. Well, hopefully in your wizardly ways you can make it through the rest of the week and recover and fight your Balrog another day.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Flame of voodoo.
Anyway, I read. Yeah. Maybe we'll just read that book. I don't know. It's
yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.